Welcome to this special edition live on Africa TV as we continue to talk about matters of the state of public emergency because, as you know, sessions at the National Assembly was called off on Monday due to the absence of the executive. And the lawmakers on Saturday also voted against the motion by the government or by the Gambia government to extend the state of public emergency, which ended on Monday. So we are back this morning to continue discussing about the, of course, the public emergency or state of public emergency, because the National Assembly members are going back to the Assembly to continue deliberating on the matter and possibly maybe make out a decision on whether to extend or reject it again. But whatever it is, you will, of course, bring you a live update from the National Assembly. Our team is already on the ground to bring you live proceedings as things unfold yet again at the National Assembly in Banjul. And thank you very much, as always, for following our programs live on Africa TV. Thank you. Now, joining me in today's platform is my colleague, Aminata Job. Aminata, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Amadou, and thank you very much. Well, viewers, thank you very much for joining iAfrica TV. We are live in our special day to talk about the National Assembly and the decision of the lawmakers concerning about the boycott or the rejection of the motion about the extension of the public emergency.
Very well. Of course, we would be, we'll talk about that. And we just understand that the Vice President have just arrived at the National Assembly in Banjul. And, you know, I think then that means a lot. If the Vice President is coming to the Assembly today, that probably might give a signal of that something is going to happen today, because initially it was the minister that were coming, either the Minister of Justice or maybe the Finance Minister or even the Health Minister. But today we just understand that the Vice President have just arrived at the National Assembly in Banjul. I mean, it looks like we are up for a very interesting day. Sure. If the Vice President is just arriving at the National Assembly to take part. As you can see, the images on the background there. There she is now arriving at the National Assembly, I think, with the Finance Minister there discussing Mamburin Jai with Dr. Aissata Toure, the Vice President of the Gambia. But I don't know what's going to happen, but it looks like we are up for a very interesting day today at the National Assembly. Yesterday, sessions could not happen because the executive were not present, and today the Vice President is here with some of the cabinet ministers because maybe they dearly need the extension. There she is taking the hand sanitizers and before getting into the National Assembly, and it looks like we are up for a very interesting session today at the National Assembly. What's going to happen, we cannot tell, but together we will watch it live on Africa TV this morning or this afternoon or whatever time it will take. But be rest assured that we would bring you live as it happens at the National Assembly in Banjul, because it's all about the state of course, state of public emergency, which the Gambia government is seeking to extend. But on Saturday, over the weekend, it was the motion was rejected by the Parliament, and yesterday they came back to the Assembly in Banjul. But then, more or less, nothing didn't happen, and the Speaker decided to adjourn the sessions to today. And today you can see the Vice President there with some of the cabinet ministers already in the National Assembly, waiting for sessions to begin any moment from now. As you can see, you know, their live pictures from the National Assembly building in Banjul. I mean, yeah, like I said, it looks like we are up for a very interesting session today. What do you expect?
Well, to be honest, I expecting to be very much difficult on their side, simply because the first meeting that they had was very tough, because the debate was very interesting, that the lawmakers themselves reviews.
The Speaker have just arrived. Okay. She marched into the National Assembly building, and yeah, sessions, it looks like it's about to start, and we would at any moment take you live to the National Assembly in Banjul. As you can see there, the Speaker just stepped in, and prayers begins. We go live to the National Assembly in Banjul.
Offices of rulers and parliaments, for the welfare of society and just government of men. We beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country, and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen. Good morning, Vice President. Good morning, Honorable. Please sit down. Thank you.
Correction and approval of records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Saturday, 16th May 2020.
Thank you. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, Your Excellency and honorable ministers, members of the press. Thank you. Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly.
It also tells us how something looks like. For example, pretty, ugly. And it also tells us shape, the shape of things. Is it round? Is it rectangular? Good. And it also tells us the color. So basically, adjectives tell us all of these things: the size, the number, how something feels like, how something sounds like, the looks, shape or color. Now here we are going to look at the first activity to find the adjectives. And here, take note that adjectives describe a person, place, animal, thing, or feeling. Example: the green grass is growing. The green grass is growing. Here, the word green is an adjective. Why? It is telling us the color of the grass, which is the noun in the sentence. So meaning green is describing grass. It's telling us the color of the grass. Now we move on to the exercise itself. Instructions. Circle the adjectives in each sentence. Now we look at the sentences. The first one, which is number 1, giraffes eat leaves from tall trees. And looking at these sentences, the noun is being underlined for you. So you are going to find the adjective that describes that noun. Now, number 1, giraffes eat leaves from tall trees. Here the noun underlined is trees. Now looking at this sentence, which of the words is describing tree? Tall. Good. Looking at the sentence, you will realize that tall is the word that is describing the tree. It's telling us the...
Thank you very much. The following National Assembly member was absent: Honorable Matar M. Jeng, Lower Nyomi. Is it with or without permission? Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. Any further observations on 3? No? Okay. Then 4, page 4.
Which read as those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. Please should be put between the same.
5. Okay. Yes, Woolly East.
Yes, thank you. On the motion without notice, the first line, the honorable member for Serakunda relying on clause, you remove the off there. Relying on clause 53 rather than of 53. And also when you go down, question put, you seen it. And when you go down, question put and agreed to the last line, the last sentence at the end, unanimously. The motion to